In 1990, an American soft drink company received 17 submarines from the Soviet Union. Actual diesel submarines, sitting at naval bases in Soviet territory. The Soviet Union had no usable hard currency to pay for Pepsi syrup. The ruble was nearly worthless outside its borders. So instead of money, the Soviet side offered something. Pepsi's chairman reportedly called the White House and joked, "We're disarming the Soviets faster than you are." The line became legend. So did the myth that, for a brief moment, the claim was exaggerated, decommissioned vessels, and they were quickly sold for scrap. But the deal itself was real, the ships were real, and the documents still exist. What makes that moment remarkable is this. 70 years earlier, the same company had almost vanished before it ever really began. In 1893, in New Bern, North Carolina, a pharmacist named Caleb Bradham began mixing a drink he believed might before it ever really digestion. At first, in 1898, he gave it a proper name, Pepsi-Cola. The name came from dyspepsia and cola nut. Like Coca-Cola before it, the drink was born in a... Pepsi grew quickly. By 1910, it had hundreds of bottling franchises. By 1915, Bradham was respected and deeply established in local business and civic life. Then came one mistake. World War I, sugar prices soared. Like many in the industry, Bradham borrowed heavily and bought massive quantities in advance. They didn't. The market collapsed. Bradham was left holding sugar bought at many times its new value. In 1923, Pepsi-Cola went bankrupt. The brand changed hands, struggled, and failed again. It went bankrupt a second time in 1931. At multiple points, Coca-Cola refused every time. Then Charles Guth entered the story. He owned the Loft candy chain, wanted better pricing from Coca-Cola, and took the refusal personally. So he bought Pepsi, removed Coke. Guth's breakthrough was simple and brilliant. Coca-Cola sold 6.5 ounces for 5 cents. Pepsi sold 12 ounces for the same price. In the middle of the Great Depression, that mattered. In the 1940s, Pepsi saw a market its rivals had largely ignored, Black American consumers. Under Edward F. Boyd, the company launched. It was not pure idealism. It was a business decision, but its effect was real. Sometimes a company changes culture, not because it means to lead morally, but because... After years of negotiation, Pepsi became the first major American consumer brand to enter the Soviet Union in a serious way. Coca-Cola was still shut out, but there was a problem. The Soviets could not pay in convertible currency, so the two sides built an extraordinary barter system, Pepsi syrup in exchange for vodka export rights. For years, it worked. Then the system began to fail. Soviet products became harder to sell in America, and both sides needed a new way to keep the deal alive. That is how a soft drink company ended up taking delivery of submarines, along with a cruiser, a frigate, before reselling them for scrap. In 1959, but its effect was something, at the American National Exhibition in Moscow, Pepsi executive Donald Kendall positioned Pepsi's sweeter first sip performed well in blind tests, and Coca-Cola blinked. In 1985, it changed its formula. The result was one of the most famous marketing disasters. Pepsi won the taste war and still lost the deeper emotional battle. By pushing Coca-Cola into a historic mistake, it reminded millions of people how much they loved Coca-Cola in the first place. In 1992, Pepsi launched a bottle cap promotion in the Philippines that became a national obsession. Then one winning number was announced, 349, and everything went wrong. Hundreds of thousands of caps appeared to be winners. Bottle cap promotion. Pepsi could not honor them all. What began as a promotional error became rage, then riots, and eventually deadly violence. In the 1990s, another Pepsi promotion sparked, a commercial joke that 7 million points could buy a Harrier jet. One student tried to claim it. The lawsuit became a contract law classic. By the end of the 20th century, Pepsi had become something far larger than a soda company. It stopped fighting only for the fountain counter and conquered the supermarket aisle instead. From a small-town remedy for indigestion to a brand that traded for submarines, helped trigger New Coke, sparked riots, survived bankruptcy twice, and reached orbit.